Before we get into the festivities, yes, this is a comic book celebration, I got 2 questions for you guys. Whether it's in comic books, movies, TV, what's a character that you really wanted to see die? And before you say, oh, that's morbid, this is all fiction, people. For me, it was King Joffrey. When that boy turned blue, it was one of the happiest moments that I've had watching TV. Now, he did a fantastic job. I cannot stress how good an actor he is. And he caught some flack. And I think he got out of acting for a minute. I don't know if he's back into it now, but he did a fantastic job in the role. For me to want that character to die so bad, he did a great job. And I'm not gonna lie, I rewinded the whole scene about 3 times. So who's a character that does it for you? Please let me know in the comments. And also too, there is a second death that happens in this comic at the end that I don't know how I feel about right now. But I want to ask you guys how you feel about it once you find out who it is. Now, without further ado, my name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of the Fall of House of X with number 3. So the story starts off in the desert, and Juggernaut is still lugging Krakoa along, and he still hasn't gotten the help he asked for in the last book. When an adamantium spear comes out of nowhere and pretty much disables the Juggernaut. And then on the next page, we see is our favorite fascist group, Orchis, in a refurbished shield helicarrier, and they're all laughing, trying to get the Juggernaut. They're shooting at him, which will do nothing to the Juggernaut. But then they start shooting at Krakoa, which will do something. So now the Juggernaut is pissed, and he picks up the splinters of Krakoa and slings at Orchis, which when he throws it, might as well be bullets. So then we cut to Paris, where very recently Dr. Gregor just betrayed the Orchis and knocked out Omega Sentinel. So then Dr. Gregor's like, alright, we need to go help Krakoa because Orchis is going to kill it. And Cyclops is like, you know what? I believe in Krakoa. Besides, in my gut, I feel like we have more pressing matters. So then Dr. Gregor's like, I thought you were blind about your ruby quartz visor. So Cyclops is like, I memorized the steps from my cell to all the places that you took me. But then Dr. Gregor's like, you're going the wrong way. You're headed towards the basement of the courthouse, which is under the same river. And Cyclops is like, yeah, I could tell by the humidity. Like, look, you could take your chances with Omega Sentinel once he wakes up, or you could follow me. I know you're going to follow me because the AI have bigger plans than just killing mutants right now. So then Dr. Gregor's like, you could have freed yourself at any time. And Cyclops like, yeah, I could. So Dr. Gregor's like, why'd you wait? And he's like, I was waiting for you. Hold on a second. So he takes his little blinding visor off and he shoots these 2 Orchis agents hard with his optical blast. He was like, I was waiting on you, Dr. Gregor. We have almost everything in common, but I got a question. Who really runs Orchis? And Dr. Gregor's like, I thought we did. Myself, Dr. DeVoe. It really doesn't matter now because we're trapped. And also all you hear is, you're never trapped. Now on the next page, we see that it's magic with the power is fully restored. If you want to see how that happened, you can check out X-Men 32. Cards right there. Link will be in the description. So the magic brings Cyclops' ruby quartz visors and goes, you might need this because you wouldn't believe who you're standing next to. So then Cyclops starts to tell Magic that on the human side of Orchis, they were gloating and torching them and do all kinds of other stuff. But the AI side was too quiet, so he knew that they was up to something. So Cyclops was like, look, I know Krakoa needs help, but can the X-Men save Krakoa without me? And Magic's like, if it needs doing, then it will be done. Then we cut to the planet of Arakko. Man, ever since X-Men Red ended, you almost forget Arakko's even there. And we have Apocalypse. God, it's good seeing him back. And he's standing with the mutants of Arakko. And on the other side, we have the mutants that went through the gate and actually made it to Arakko. They're from Earth. So Apocalypse is like, the Earth mutants have raised their banners. A united and reforged Arakkos will join our cousins. Who will join me? And we see Wolf, who we met all the way in X-Men number 22, which nobody watched, but you can now. Cards right here. Link will be in the description. And he's one of the first ones to join the cause. So all of a sudden there's a big boom. And on the next page we see is Manifold, Rogue, and Gambit. They have a sword station that they're traveling in. So the Rogue's like, hi sugars. Don't ask me to do a southern accent. We're a little bit pressed for time, so if you get aboard, get strapped in, and get your trade tables up, we can go save Krakoa. I know some of you are from Earth and you've been waiting for this day. Nothing comes easy. So if you want to go home, we're going to have to fight for it. So they get all loaded up and the Manifold's like, I've asked the universe for much and I must ask for more. There is great suffering and injustice and it must be set right. So please take us home. and shows up right next to the other sword station and makes a big X in space. So the Rogue's like, stay frosty, y'all. We're going to save Krakoa. We're going to deal with any stray sentinels, the sentinel factories, and the gulags. The telepaths are going to divide us up into strike teams, and then we'll conquer. So then Rogue remembers when Destiny told her about this very moment when a big X will appear in space. So then we cut back to the Juggernaut and Krakoa. He's still getting shot at. And Juggernaut's like, you lousy mugs are now, look up. And that X has come down from space, and the Orchis agents are down there like, oh my god. So then Tony calls his wife Emma and lets him know that he just intercepted a message from Firestar and plays it for her. If you are seeing this message, then I'm probably dead. Dr. Stasis realized that I've been on the X-Men side all along after I helped Iron Man set his trap for the majority of the Stark Sentinels. I placed a tracker on the Maniac, so go punch his ticket for me. So then Shadowcat goes, rerouting us now. Tony's like, bring her home or avenge her if you can't. So Emma's like, thank you, Anthony. So then we cut to the middle of nowhere. It literally says the middle of nowhere. And Bargain Bin is doing what any Sinister would do. He's getting the hell out of Dodge once his plans go awry. So the Emma Shadowcat shows up and goes, where you going, Stasis? And Dr. Stasis goes, oh, it's a porcelain strumpet and the lunatic ninja. I wouldn't be talking shit right now if I was him, but I guess he wouldn't be a Sinister if he wasn't talking shit. So the Emma goes, Caitlin? And she goes, with pleasure. And she starts beating up Dr. Stasis, talking about, you better hold Firestars alive or you'll be begging for death. And she knocks off his helmet by phasing her hand through his head. And he goes, unhand me. And he gets right back to the talking. He's like, I hidden Firestar away alive just for the scenario that we're in right now. And you can't use your little telepathic powers because I got the best psycho blockers around. And Kitty goes, you mean this psycho blocker right here? I grabbed it when I phased my hand through your head. And his old face is classic. So then Emma reads his mind and goes, Sync, I got Firestar's location. So then Sync is in New York. She's being held on some kind of tugboat with some Orchis agents. Sync's like, I'm so close to her that I can sync with her powers naturally. He uses Firestar's power to pretty much hit these Orchis agents with, finds Firestar being held in some kind of iron coffin that's having some kind of sleeping agent pumped into it. He opens it up, takes off her mask and goes, welcome back, Firestar. Breathe easy, I got you. So the Sync's like, we got her and she's coming your way. Now, before we get into what Emma's about to do, she does have a history of cooking up some Sinisters. In Immoral X-Men #1, that's part of the Sinister series. Cards right there, link will be in the description. What she did to our tried and true Sinister, whew, it was nasty. And what she's about to do to this dude was a hell of a lot worse. She goes, I've tried to be good for so long, but you men broke me. You won't let me be nice. I've destroyed men 10 times. No, 100 times worth you. You hurt us. You hurt me. I could kill you right where you grovel, but I won't. And he goes, oh, thank you. Thank you. Instead, I will reach into your disgusting mind and pull forth your worst nightmares. The most unhinged fears about mutants born of your voluminous, bigoted mind. And I promise you, it will feel very real. And the puppy dog eyes that I see in Bargain Bin, I only seen one at a time. So Wolverine slices him into thirds. Cyclops shoots his head right off. Kitty Pryde phases his heart right through his body. Colossus just pretty much beats his head into hamburger meat. And then Magneto crushes his head with his helmet, just like he did Taran the Uncaring. So I guess Bargain Bin read that issue too. And while all this is going on, the man is going into cardiac arrest. So then Bargain Bin's like, please, I have a wife and a family. Let me speak to Cyclops. He'll grant me mercy. So Emma goes, I'm afraid he might, but he's not here right now. I am. If you're anything like the mutant Sinister, if you think about returning is a good idea, it is not. Stay dead. Or the next time I kill you, it will be so much worse. So now the heart attack really sets in and Bargain Bin falls over. And Emma goes, a heart attack is less than what that man deserves. So then Kitty's like, if we don't do Dracula properly, then we deserve whatever happens when he does return. So Emma's like, are you seriously suggesting that I didn't kill him properly? So as I was reading, I'm just sitting back and I'm like, and that's the problem with comics. Like, they're literally having a conversation with a problem with comics because everybody comes back. Like, it's not even a secret no more. And now you gotta properly kill somebody? which you could disintegrate them. That don't mean anything. Hydrocat was damn near disintegrated, yet and still we're having a whole comic book series about him. Which, if you didn't read it, card's right there, link will be in the description. So that out of nowhere, somebody yells Stasis, and you see a flame just goes flying in there, and Firestar is freaking seeing this dude. So now Dr. Stasis has been properly cremated. So the Emma's like, thanks. We were just having a discussion on how to tidy up the corpse. Whatever kind of peace we win in the end, it will be because you were such a great X-Men, Angelica. You did us proud, and you paid the hero's price. Now let's get back to the Thunderbird, because we got to get back in the fight. There's a crisis on every corner of the globe. So now we cut to the moon, Cyclops, Dr. Gregor, and Magic. And Dr. Gregor's like, this is where Nimrod went. You used to live here, right? On the moon? And Cyclops is like, yep. Please, no jokes. And Magic's like, you sure you want me to leave you two alone, boss? And Cyclops is like, I need to do this. Tell Emma to leave her ear out for me. And Magic's like, Roger. I'm being asked to hunt down Dr. DeVoe, which will be an X-Men number 33. Can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. So Cyclops is like, this is my family home. What is Nimrod doing here? So then Dr. Gregor's like, have you heard of Sentinel City? After the victory over Krakoan, your habitat on the moon here was repurposed into like a relay station for a mining settlement. Except for none of the ore made it back to Earth. It was used on site. And Cyclops was like, used for what? And she's like, I don't know. Nobody at Orchis knows, not even Dr. DeVoe. I'm assuming Omega Sentinel knew, maybe Mara knew, and so did. And she turns to the next page and goes, you Nimrod. Well, Cyclops like, Emma, heads up, be ready. So the Nimrod goes, it's hard to surprise me, Dr. Gregor, but if you manage that feat 3 times, I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. And she goes, why the secrets? And from me of all people, our mining operation at Sentinel City, almost none of the metal makes it back to Earth. What are you building out there? And Nimrod goes, the future and the end. So Cyclops was like, Dr. Gregor, that thing is not your husband. And she goes, that is true. But Nimrod only exists because of my husband's sacrifice. I'm pretty sure he could calculate the truth in that. And Nimrod goes, Dr. Gregor, I choose not to lie to you. And those tears that you see in her eyes are justified, because now she can look at her ass perfectly. And Nimrod's like, I'm giving you this gift earlier than I calculated. So then Cyclops hits him with a huge optic blast and goes, you psycho. So Nimrod's like, we calculated that we have the greatest chance of success if mutants and humans are at each other's throats so much that you wouldn't look up and notice a sword hanging over your head. The sword of Damocles. Alright, I'm stop being a nerd. Sentinel City is not an outpost nor a mine. It is a tool to help sterilize this hellish planet once and for all. So now we're at the end. How do you feel about Dr. Gregor getting murdered? Because at first I hated Karen, couldn't stand her. But then at the end I was like, I kind of like her, and then they kill her off. How do you guys feel? Please let me know in the comments.